They don't think you could do it, but tell you to try when they talk. All I hope had to keep it alive. Spend a day in the Bronx, but you wouldn't survive. Can be low when I pop out, they know I've arrived. I go have conversations with Zoe, he gon' tell me pull up and come say what you know. I've been up, I can count all them days in a row. We don't say what we do, we be making the show. They say I'll be
the voice of the Bronx. We have Bronx Land with the guys are out here. Can I get a
yeah? Leave them all right where they at. Try to diss me, I bet I don't even react. Put a show on, I bet you somebody gon' yeah. I pick me a book up and drink me some water, invest in the stock.
Let me know when we rolling.
I'm rolling, bro.
You know what I'm saying? We all we got at the end of the day. I'm always super grateful for everybody that's followed me along this journey. Today wasn't the day that I expected, but, you know, God is always going to find a way. You know, God is always going to tell me, like, yo, son, I got you on assignment. We had a guest that was supposed to come. I don't think the guest is coming, but I went to the Hip Hop Healing Summit in West Nyack. Shout out to Your Zorg. Bump into my brother, my birthday twin, my OG, Mo Knowledge. And I was like, cool. Like, he ain't know that I was taking notes. Well, you know, safety first, guys, but on the drive down, I'm taking notes as this man is talking. And, you know, that was to prepare, you know, while we got something to eat before. I was like, bro, you know, you might have to be on the show today, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But he's like, yo, bro, I got you. I know he's a videographer, he's a photographer, he's a father, he's a man in his community. He's a man that's building a little backstory on Mo Knowledge. I met Mo Knowledge at a time that I needed Mo Knowledge. You know, I needed Your Zorg. I needed all of the people, Deacon Bo, Sister Carmita, Uncle Junie, Sister Aisha, all of those, Dr. Sister Aisha, because I was losing faith in conversation with Zoe. So 2021, I was ready to quit. It was over for me. Like 2020, right after COVID, that summer, I was ready to quit. At that point, I had been doing this 2 years. The positivity ain't working. The pieces ain't hitting. And I'm cool with it. You know, a good body of work. Mm-hmm. And I'm cool with walking away. I think I was at episode probably around 80-something at the time, right? It's crazy. We're at 183 now, right? But what God gave me was the resources and the people to help me keep going. Slice of Excellence was 1 year old at the time. And being adapted to Your Zorg, going to the meetings, being around Deacon Bo, you know, who's a father, who's a deacon, being able to call him for prayer, being able to call More Knowledge for things going on in the streets, things I didn't understand, things I needed like a big brother's advice and ear and to put me on to certain things. A man that was like, listen, you know, I don't need no money from you. Pick me up, we go record the content, drop me off, and we good. Like, your money's no good over here. And I didn't understand that at first. But you was teaching me that the relationship that we were gonna build was worth more than any dollar that I was gonna give you. Mm-hmm. And I became a beast after that. Like that right there, being around the village, being around people in the nonprofit space, being around people in the content creative space, it gave me that validation that I was seeking from the wrong people, right? The people that I was born and raised with, it's not their duty to support me. Mm. And the beauty of meeting people later on around the journey and around life is that those people are going to see you for who you are, for where they see you at. So people saw Slice of Excellence, saw the vision, saw the pizza, like, oh, that's fire. I love what he's doing. People saw Conversation with Zoe as a former guy that was in the streets, born in Rikers Island, been through wars in the street. Be like, nah, homie's a young bull, but he's talking, you know what I mean? And I want to support that. You know what I mean? You were like, nah, this dude got morals. He's not lowering his integrity, and he's keeping his principles at a high level. So for the world, for everybody from Conversation with Zoe, we welcome Mo Knowledge today. My brother, my birthday twin, you know, appreciate you, my brother. Welcome.
Proud you, beloved. Forever.
Absolutely, man, for sure, man. So we gotta tell your story, man, because you were once a guy that was off the porch. You know what I'm saying? You jumped off the porch. You was in the streets. On the way down here, you told me you was born in Rikers Island.
Yes. You know, I was young, you know, I don't have no recollection of it, but, you know, what my mom told me, what my grandmother told me, what my uncles told me, you know what I'm saying? You know, my mom was going through certain things around that time. And, you know, she was pregnant with me and things of that nature. And then, you know, she was pregnant. She had me when she was on the island. And then my uncle had to come and get me from the island and brought me up to my grandmother's house. And that's when my grandmother, you know what I'm saying, started taking care of me and stuff like that.
Right.
And, you know, later on down the years, you know, when my mom came home, you know, she started living with us for like 2-3 years. And she got herself on her feet, and then she moved to Harlem in 91, and she been living in the same address since 1991 that she live at right now in Harlem.
Right.
You know, so I saw her growth when she came home. You know, every time she was living with us for those 3 years in the basement, every time I came home, when I didn't want to do my homework, she helped me with my homework. Man, she just helped me with a lot. And my mom even taught me how to read at 17. You know, I already did juvenile time and things of that nature. When I came home, she literally taught me how to read. And then once I learned how to read, I started reading everywhere I went. I wanted to read everything. If I was on the train, I was reading that. If I was on a bus, I'm reading that. You know what I'm saying? Like, anywhere I went, I got so hyped because, like I said, from 16 all the way down, I ain't know how to read. You know what I'm saying? I was so distracted within what I was looking at in the streets or in school. I was doing that negativity. But once my mom taught me how to read, man, it was a blessing. And I just, ever since then, I like to read.
Right.
You know, it's good to read.
Right.
Any person that said reading ain't good, you're a sucker.
Right.
Don't tell these kids that. Don't tell the youth that.
Right.
Reading is good. So, you know.
Right. So, when do things start to take a turn for you and you find yourself knee deep in the streets?
That's a good question. Man, once you get deep in the streets, you know, and you don't got no knowledge of self, it's hard to get out of that type of hurdle because, you know, you learning everything of what you see in these streets. So there's no type of direct example on how to get out a hurdle in the streets. So a lot of things you learn in the streets is like you learning failures. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to emulate failure.
Right.
And, you know, you are a product of your environment, so you're going to be a part of that shit.
Right.
So you thinking that that's success. That's not success if you dropping out of school, you cutting class. That was the first design of In Too Deep, cutting class.
Right.
You in the hallways, running around, exploring the school and things of that nature. And then all of a sudden, that's one aspect. Now you're doing a second aspect. You get even bigger. Now let me cut school. They call up your parents. Oh, your son wasn't there. Your grandmother chastising you. She probably beat you. I'm a big dude. It's not hurting me. So I go back and cut school again. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So at the end of the day, it's like the more you kept on doing bad, if it wasn't affecting me, I kept on doing bad.
Right.
Stealing money from my grandmother just to get respect in school. You know what I'm saying? I did all these things because I saw somebody do that. So I emulated that. I saw that these children is getting respect because they giving out money. So now I want to do it.
Right.
But now I'm doing it at an extreme price.
Right.
Not knowing that money that my grandmother got is for the household to nourish me and my sister and everybody that's in the household. But now I'm taking food off the table with my sister, my dad, my grandmother, my aunt. But at the end of the day, at that time, I do not know about none of these things. Only thing I know is I want respect. Because I saw somebody give people money and they got respect.
Right.
Now, when I did it, did I get respect? No. I got in trouble. You feel me? And got laughed at.
Right.
So the moral of the story is that you can't copy what other people do because it might not be you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That turns out successful. You will turn towards failure.
Right.
So
now, before we move back to Harlem, we in the Bronx running wild. And I believe you turned Crip or you turned Blood?
Nah, I turned Blood, yeah.
Blood, right? In the
Crip
Crip neighborhood, right? Yeah.
yeah.
So the story's coming. All right, so why did we turn Blood?
Man, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I was on a basketball team, you did, and everybody on that basketball team, they was all neutrons, they was neutral. And then this is like 95, right? And then when 96 came, everybody on my basketball team turned Crip. Of course, I was asked to turn Crip, you know what I'm saying? And I started entertaining that type of thought because that's what was all around me, right? But one day, certain situations happened, and it was the end of me turning that.
Right.
Because, like, at the end of the day, if you're part of something, you want to be part of love and brotherhood.
Right.
But you're not going to be a part of something that you feel that don't want you.
Right.
So that was the end of that.
Right.
So, of course, I talked about it earlier about gaining respect, right? Yeah. So I went somewhere else to try to get respect. You know what I'm saying? And they respected me. They treated me as a brother.
Right.
But at the same time, I had to do certain things to get into the demonstration. And I did that. And that's how I became Blood in the Crip hood. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's
right.
it. You feel me?
Right. So now we end up going to juvie. We start getting in trouble. Yeah. So what's that juvie experience like?
Man. The first time I went to juvie, I was 15. Yeah, I was 15 for a weapons charge, you know. At the end of the day, you gotta protect yourself. You don't know who's gonna come after you. You repping something, you gotta stay on point. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is what the streets is teaching me. If you get caught slipping, you could get hurt. Right. You dig? So, you know, I got caught with a weapons charge and stuff like that, and I did my time. So entering into Spofford, you know, they put you in A dorm, you got B dorm, and you know what I'm saying, the Risings. They had the G dorm for the high class, you know what I'm saying, charges. They had the J dorm, they had all these dorms, and they put you around your peers that's your age, and they give you bad food that's not even a substance to our body or our brains. And at the end of the day, they ain't really let us out like that because one's always stayed in trouble. Right. So if somebody do something, everybody is in trouble. Right. You can't go out. So when I was in juvenile, it was live around that time, and this is like 99. And 99, yeah, around that time, it was mad live. Dudes fighting each other in juvie, complaining about certain things, and, you know, it was no unity in there. And, you know, I ain't even had problems with the staff. I had problems with inmates.
Right.
You know, that's the negative side. But the positive side in juvenile, you could go to school, get your education, and things of that nature. And I never amounted to that.
Right. Because
I was so distracted with holding myself down and trying to make myself look good, you know, and fighting dudes. So if anybody know me, I got war scars all over my body and fist and trauma in my face and sure enough, there's people out there in this world that contest with things I have done to them. But at that time, you know, we was just doing it just for rep. But it's a forced rep. So now that's why I look at it now. When I got older, I'm like, damn, I went through all these things when I was young for nothing because I wanted to be the product of my environment. I ain't know none of this when I was that age. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I was kind of forced into this lifestyle.
Right.
My grandmother raised me up in the church. You know what I'm saying? She raised me up in the church. I was in the choir singing. I knew how to sing when I was young.
Right.
I lost that when I started smoking cigarettes.
Right.
I lost that when I started smoking weed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, and for what? Just to be respected. I hear a lot of these guys on these podcasts talk about why they got into this and why they got into that. But one thing I don't hear is that we got into it because we wanted to be respected.
Right.
We wanted somebody to like us and of that nature. You feel me? I wasn't forced to be in this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have to be in this at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I did it just for the respect. You know what I'm saying? But that respect was really no respect.
Right.
It was an illusion.
Right. So, if we see more knowledge today, he walks with a cane. Why is that?
You know, man, you know, I got shot, you know what I'm saying, in 2006. Word, you know what I'm saying? And these are my history that came back to hunt me. You know what I'm saying? When you live by the sword, you're gonna get hurt by it and you're gonna die by it.
Right.
So at the end of the day, when you surround yourself around oppositions, you know, and you by yourself, and they got the one up on you, they gonna get you.
Right.
And me, I knew how to fight, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, a young man that think he know how to fight, but still younger than the age of 25, my frontal lobe is not mature yet.
Right.
The only thing I'm thinking is, yeah, I got the skills. My man told me not to even go to that park the next day. And I was like, yeah, I ain't gonna go to that park the next day. And I still went to that park the next day. And then I got shot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And at the end of the day, I could have ran out the park. You know what I'm saying? I could have walked out the park. But my pride and my ego kept me there. And say, yo, I ain't going out this park just because I see oppositions. I could play anywhere. I could play ball anywhere I want. That was my ego. That's my pride. That's the lower self, nature that's in us. But is it worth it, though? So, is it really worth it? Because if you got an opportunity and that person's in your ear saying, yo, why you in here? Don't go back to that park the next day, and you still go, you just put that lower self demonstration on you where something can happen to you. And sure enough, it did. I ain't see past the future. He did. Right. And I ain't listen to my man. Right. Now, fast forward, now I'm in a hospital, keep playing over this role of him telling me not to go. So I made it my duty at the age I am now for the past 7 years as a credible messenger. And I tell the youth, if somebody tells you something that's positive to keep you safe, you better believe it.
Right.
Because you might not have the frontal lobe that's strong as this brother do.
Right.
And my brother was way older than me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he knew what it was. And I knew what it was too.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm being stubborn.
Right.
And that's the lower self that we was trained to uphold. Right. We wasn't trained to uphold the higher self. We was trained to uphold the lower self. Right. For what? to be injured for a lifetime, come on. So I always tell brothers, make sure you pay attention and you listen to your OGs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is the reason why there's OGs out here. You know what I'm saying? These are original gangsters that been doing it way before you. They have the crystal ball.
Right.
You don't.
Very tasty, cheesy, oniony, all of the above.
One word to describe it, scrumptious, right? We from the town, so we just gonna say pause first, but it melts in your mouth. You just love it. You know what I'm saying? I wear this shirt to sleep. How much I love 7th Street Burger, man. It's near and dear to my heart. You see the logo? It's near to my heart. That's how we do it, man. Peace.
So when they rubbing in the crystal ball and they telling you like, yo, Mo, that move right there is bad, that move over there is good, take heed. Because he's aiding and assisting you with information that you're not privy to.
Right. So, I mean, this one right here is one of them ones. And I know I don't got the war stories, some scars, internal, you know, mental scars, but I'm from Brook Ave. For me, 90s baby, born 92, so I know that era. You know what I mean? I'm a couple years under that era. And the things that I saw as a kid, the things that I saw family members partaking, it made me want to become a credible messenger from the sidewalks, you know what I mean? From the porch. And let kids know that it's gangster to just stay in your own lane and be yourself. Because you could get hurt out there and live with a disability or not make it to have either or. You know what I mean? Like, once it's over, it's over. And having survived all the things that I have survived, I've seen that it's all about the power of choice. Like, there's a choice, and the choices that I made is why I'm here today. You know, the choices that I've made is why, you know, I got a college degree. I've been able to go to boarding school, play overseas. I'm an assistant dean at a high school. I got Slice of Excellence. I got this podcast. You know, so it don't sound sexy. You feel me? Like, it is sexy, you know, but you got to grow to understand that sexy has different variations. You know what I mean? Like, many dudes is looking at a woman's physical, but a real man is looking at her intellect, her character. You know what I'm saying? How she carry herself. You know what I mean? Like, that's a form of being sexy as well. You know what I'm saying? And sex appeal, for lack of a better word. But
Yes, sir.
it's all a full circle moment. You know what I mean? That we meet, we born on the same day. We call each other now on our birthdays.
No question.
We keep in touch throughout the year. And one thing that you once spoke to me about was the war in Chicago and inheriting beef. So I want you to, one thing you said, the ones gotta leave that there.
No question.
Right?
No question. You know, we are product of our environment. I understand that. Chicago, New York, California, you know, we've been taught a history of being a part of gangs, organizations, movements, you know, nations and things of that nature, right? But when the wicked enters in these so-called situations, demonstrations, you know, a lot of that wicked is coming from somebody that's breaking protocol. Now, we part of conversations with Zoe, and we from Chicago, and I'm the leader, you the underling, or you the leader, I'm the underling. You know what I'm saying? You create this brand, we repping this brand. So now, I know the rules and regulations, right? But this person I brought to the table might not know the rules and regulations. I just brought him to the table because of, you know, I see an opportunity in him. And he see an opportunity in me. I got the name, he got the opportunity, he got the skill, he got the gift. So now we put him on. You know? Now he does something that's drastic. He don't know no lessons. He don't know no type of laws, principles, or nothing. He just did something. So to tell him that, yo, why would you do that? You know you weren't supposed to do that. No, he don't know nothing. The only thing he know is he did something. Now, the thing that he did, naturally that we gonna inherit that.
Right.
But we've been inheriting that for over 60-something years or more.
Right.
100 years. So now, intelligent people that got wisdom, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, had to be hard and cold and say, yo, my brother, I'm gonna stop this from right here. I'm not moving on with this negative inheritance. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
Somebody gotta stop it. So if that person over there got beef with that person and then both of them die, now the mothers and the fathers and the cousins and the brothers and the sisters is gonna be in pain. And who out of that category is gonna retaliate? 9 times 10 gonna be the brothers and the cousins.
Right.
But I'm telling the brothers and the cousins that, yo, you gotta stop that right there because you don't know the backstory on why that happened. Even if you think you know the backstory, you really don't know the backstory.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you know, who cares about the backstory? That brother should never did that to that person over there, and that person should never did that over there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's that organization, and he's that organization. Leave each other alone. The only thing that these both organizations supposed to be doing is getting money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And getting awards and things of that nature and accolades so they could take care of their families.
Right.
That's the prime goal.
Right.
The prime goal is not to be banging on each other. We all look alike. Right. You know what I'm saying? That person is an Asiatic brother right there. That person is an Asiatic brother right there. But now they don't see that. They only see black and on black crime.
Right.
But you're not black. Black according to signs mean death. So guess what? Now 2 black brothers died. And they really dead now. Black don't describe that person or that person.
Right.
But they think it do, so that's why they in the grave. Words and spells. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna keep on happening. It's gonna, like, people repeat history and they not even prepared yet. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Come on. You can't, they keep repeating history, you know what I'm saying? Because they not prepared.
Okay.
And who's gonna come to repair them? Somebody gonna keep calling them black? Black is not a nationality. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Irish people got a nationality. Japanese people got a nationality, right?
Right.
Is they banging on each other? Or they making money with each other?
Making money with each other.
But do black out of that? Where's black at? On this earth, where's black? There's no black nation, there's no black state.
Right.
Why are we calling ourselves something that we don't have a state or a nation? You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Just like a rat. A rat don't have no nationality, no state. That's why rats kill each other.
Right.
Behind the scenes in the sewers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's how black is. So when it comes to Chicago, when it comes to New York, when it comes to California, when it comes to Atlanta, Texas, whatever the gangs is at, one's gonna keep killing each other until they change the narrative and the program of that organization. To brothers saying like, yo, you not a part of us, bro. Whatever you did that on your own time. You're gonna get locked up on your own time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You died, hey, it stops where you at.
Right.
Y'all not gonna be bringing us and put us in trouble and things of that nature just because we repping the same name, bro.
Right.
So it gotta stop.
So, what's the process of finding yourself?
Man, the process of finding yourself. Know thyself, right? So the process, of finding yourself is learning from your experience, which is negative.
Right.
And being sick and tired of going through negative experiences in life.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you only got one life. And it could be taken away in a snap of a finger.
Right.
So at the end of the day, if we learn from our experience and we're not gonna let that happen again, that repeated history, now you gradually learning yourself.
Right.
And on top of that, to know thyself is to love yourself.
Right.
You said it earlier today that, you know, if you don't save and you're not gonna invest in yourself, nobody's gonna trust you and to deal with what you got going on if you don't trust yourself and invest in yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning that in 2024, I put in a lot of work with A1A Productions, my company, as a videographer and photographer. I could scream all day that, yo, nobody's hiring me. But how they gonna hire me if I don't save and invest in my own A1A production business by having a website?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Conversation Result got a website. Slice of Excellence got a website. So now people could go there and read it without hearing it from your word of mouth.
Right.
People don't want to hear it from you. They want to see it in writing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To know what about the experience before they even get in front of you.
Right.
And I'm not blessed to have that yet, but in the future I will. So for all the brothers that have an idea when it comes to their business, make sure you get your business legit, because nobody's gonna deal with you if you're not legit.
Right.
You can have all the money, physical money in your pocket, all you want, shown on these videos and all that. But if you don't have the behind the scenes with inside your body well, as healthiness, ain't nobody gonna deal with you, because they're gonna look at you like you don't know yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what knowing yourself is, by eating healthy, having your business on track, and being the message that you bring.
Right. Morals and principles.
Morals and principles. It's good to have morals. It's good to have principles. And the Bible says, honor your mother and your father, that your days shall be long upon this earth wherein the Lord thy God hath given thee. Your mom and your father, you know what I'm saying, teach you morals and principles on this earth. These are instructions for you before you leave earth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you're not honoring their instructions, then guess what? Within a snap of a finger of blackness, you're gonna be in that grave, or you're gonna be in jail. A lot of these things happen. A lot of wickedness happen because of ones don't honor their mother and father.
Right.
You know, father, look at that word. He's supposed to further your education. You know what I'm saying? A father is a man that furthered his child's education. He threw that ball at that point, and when he dies, he left his mark because he had that child that could keep on going in his father's legacy.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? But guess what? They took the child and hoodwinked the child and bamboozled the child's mind to disrespect the father, because you are what your father is. So now the child is disrespecting the father. So now when their father died, that child that's dealing with wickedness that he learned from in the subconscious mind, the legacy is tarnished.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep perpetuating itself down the generations. So now you can ask yourself, like, yo, you know your great-great-great-great-great-grandmother or great-great-great-grandfather? Do you even have pictures? The answer is what?
No.
That's sad. That's sad.
So, in the midst of this, I remember when we first met, I watched the Fred Hampton movie. Right, so I know we're gonna dance a little bit through this one, but
Man.
I was telling you, I thought I was the Fred Hampton extraordinaire at the time. And then he was like, "What you doing right now, Zoe?" I said, "Nothing." He's like, all right, well, listen to this. So what's the real about that whole movie? And I think the movie's name is The Messiah.
Judas of the Black Messiah.
Right.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Fred Hampton Jr. and the production team that, and the directors and the writers that created that. Shout out to Fred Hampton Jr. and the Panther Cubs in Chicago. That's one of my OGs I look up to, Fred Hampton Jr. father was Fred Hampton Sr., and he was raised in Chicago, and he became a Black Panther. And the Black Panthers established themselves in 1964 in California by Bobby Seals and Huey P. Newton. And they was a grassroots organization to basically uplift the community, against police brutality. And they had, a 10-point program where they fed the youth in schools and things of that nature. And they had leaders throughout a lot of states. So they was international. Yeah. They just didn't stay in California. They had, parties in Chicago. They had Panther parties in New York. They had it everywhere, bro. And, Chicago, Fred Hampton controlled the Black Panthers in the city of Chicago. So fast forward, Judas of the Black Messiah, of course, every movement has a Judas. Jesus Christ had a disciple called Judas that turned against Jesus Christ in the biblical sense. That's another story. So when y'all hear this interview, y'all could go into the Bible and you can look up what Judas did to Jesus Christ, but we're not going to go there, right? Let's stay on the movie.
Right.
Judas of the Black Messiah, who is the Black Messiah in that movie? You had a couple in there. You have Fred Hampton, of course. He's the Black Messiah. The FBI, the head of the FBI called him like a Black Messiah. Right. And there was another brother that was depicted in that movie. Of course, they're not going to say his name. They're not going to say the name of the organization in that movie, but they called it the Crown. So it was like the FBI, Hoover tried to make the Crowns go against the Black Panthers in that movie. And they put a Judas, like an agent, inside the Black Panthers. Right. And of course, the agent that they picked, it's gonna look like just like me and you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So all the information that he gathered from the Black Panthers, he would go back to the FBI and give him that information.
Right.
And they would pay him a lengthy, healthy money. So he won't feel like he won't have to do this again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he did certain things to gain Black Panthers' trust, right? So now he became a Judas. The same thing Judas tried to do to Jesus, this guy actually was doing in real life in the city of Chicago.
Right.
So it was a story that in real life, this is an actual document that happened in the 60s before he passed away. Fred Hampton wanted to align himself with the Crowns in that movie. And he went there with his men and his sisters. And when he went into this building, you saw the movie, right?
Yes.
He went into this building and it was nothing but Crowns on every floor. Had the guns, you know what I'm saying? On some security. And the head of the Crown said, was that you that wrote those letters? He's like, that wasn't me. And he asked him, was that you? He's like, no, that wasn't me. So they both figured it out that they both was not writing each other disrespectful letters. And they found out that the FBI was trying to get them to fight each other. So what they did is they unified with each other. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So the reason why they ain't called the real name of that organization in the movie in the movie is because what the organization represented according to them. You know what I'm saying? And for the ones that know, they know, and for the ones that don't know, don't need to know. But at the same time, free Jeff Ford.
Facts.
Free Jeff Ford. Free Larry Hoover. These are two prominent leaders in the city of Chicago that could stop a whole lot of unnecessary violence. But do the devil want these ones to stop the violence? No. You know what I'm saying? Right. They want these violence to keep repeating itself. You know what I'm saying? But free them brothers, man. You know, a lot of people always hear about Free Larry Hoover, because he has a backing behind him when it comes to Kanye West, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to other rappers, right. You know what I'm saying? You know, but Jeff Ford got a backing too. It just, we deal with the code of silence.
Right.
And we do behind the scenes more than in front of the camera.
The camera.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, when Fred Hampton passed away, Jeff Ford had 1,000 Rangers with red berets on marching his funeral quietly with no disruption, no pin drop, no giving. You know, when somebody come down a funeral, yo, peace, and no, ones is on their square, not looking to the left, not looking to the right, following orders. And they pay their respect to Fred Hampton, 1,000 Rangers, the vanguard. And I'm a part of that vanguard. I'll be one of them men, you know? And I've been one of them men over 20-some years. I left that blood demonstration alone, you know? And I became one of Jeff Ford's men. And I've been that ever since. And that's what I campaign. We don't gotta say the name, because at the end of the day, this conversation was over.
That's a fact.
We're not gonna do that.
That's a fact. If you know, you know. If you don't know,
that's it.
You don't need to know.
That's it.
Right? So, you know, we got a few things to touch on still, but part of that, on the way down here, we spoke about the OGs, right? How nothing is sacred anymore. We were watching the Cam Newton video. Busta Rhymes got into it.
Yeah.
But the OGs, you said, shouldn't have given up control.
Yeah, man. Like, I feel like, you know, the OG Andy King kept talking about, you know, hip-hop started in the 70s,
right.
1973, right? Right. So, you know, 73 to like 1990, you start seeing the transition into the gangster hip-hop, you know, basically spearheading by the OG Ice-T, salute to Ice-T and everything in California. And then you started seeing the development. It was, you know, Ice-T and then, you know, Dr. Dre and Ice Cube and NWA and Snoop. You heard, man, I remember I was on a school bus listening to the radio station and Snoop was on there sipping on Janet juice way back. In my mind, on my money, in my money. I remember that on a school bus, that yellow school bus. I was in special ed, bro. Coming from the Bronx, from 218 in Bronxwood, all the way down to 96th Street on a school bus, listening to sipping on Janet juice in 91, special ed. You know what I'm saying? And hearing that, I'm like, yo, this was fire. Right. And then the next song was Outkast, Me and You, Your Mama and Your Cousin Too. So, two of them brothers is not even from New York.
Right.
Down south, West Coast.
Right.
Where's New York sound at? You know what I'm saying? It was no New York sound at that time. Right. And then later on, you had, you know, DMX's and you had Camerons and Mace You know what I'm saying? Jada Kiss and the Locks and all that. But before them, it was what we just said. So what happened to all the OGs that was from the 70s and the 80s? They got pushed out. You know what I'm saying? And salute to Melly Mel, salute to KRS-One, salute to Grandmaster Cash and the Furious Five and all the other groups that paved the way for us, right? But the question I had was, in my mind, what made them stop and why they stopped? Did they get paid off? Or did they just got pushed out and the DJs was told not to play their music? It could have been various of things.
Right.
But we haven't heard from them. Yeah, we heard from them behind the scenes, but why they stopped making videos?
Yeah.
Why they making videos now?
Right.
Did that money stop? And this ain't, and I salute my OGs and I salute y'all. But by y'all stopping, creating that positive music, something else was birthed.
Right.
And what was birthed is what?
Gangster rap.
Why y'all stopped? So now, y'all behind the scenes talking about how y'all need to dismantle this demonstration. But you can't dismantle something because y'all stopped.
Right.
Now, the new generation had to come in the late 90s. You know what I'm saying? Biggie Smalls and may he rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Tupac. You know what I'm saying? May he rest in peace. Bogus East Coast, West Coast beef. You know what I'm saying? Just because of both of the labels and come on, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They put these brothers' lives in jeopardy and they was both young. They should never died.
Right, 24, 25.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, by them dying, that cycle kept getting repeated because nobody wanted to repair it. But who's the ones that's supposed to repair it? The ones that started it.
Right.
Y'all trying to repair it now? And they've been trying to repair it, but it was behind the scenes. It wasn't getting no type of, no type of exposure.
Yeah, notoriety.
But now it was like, they getting the notoriety now, and KRS-One's on some like, come on. Thank you, but no thank you. I'm not going.
Right.
And I salute KRS-One for making that stance. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
But still, a problem was created, and they got bigger to an adult level where you can't stop it.
Right.
You can't. The only way I feel like you could stop this bogusness is the same way how you stop your locals in your community. You know what I'm saying? If everybody come with signatures and everybody come together and unify together as one front, and we have that one spokesman that's gonna speak about, you know what I'm saying, everything that we don't want intellectually,
Right.
I feel like the powers that be that's in the record labels can't do what they supposed to do.
Right.
But until then, they know that nobody's coming together to stop that.
Right.
And they feel like their money supersedes what we got to say.
Right.
But these rappers gotta understand too, like, yo, bro, mommies and daddies is crying because of the unnecessary violence between rappers on rap crime.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's no more black on black crime. It's rapper on rap crime.
Right.
Because at one point in time, rappers wasn't drug dealers, they wasn't gang members. They were just rappers from the community that dance, that did graffiti, that did DJing. They did the 5 elements of hip hop. That's why it was positive. You know what I'm saying? But those same rappers adopted drug dealers in it, adopted gang members in it, adopted all the negative things under the sun, and they became rappers without protocol. These rappers back then had protocol.
Right.
These rappers today don't live by protocol because they don't know it.
Right.
And of course, you feel like a human being supposed to know protocol, morals, and principles, right? You're supposed to get that from who, right? Your mother and father.
Right.
My G, if they not honoring their mother and father, why you think they left the house?
Right.
Their mother and father ain't paying them. They feel like they have an entitlement for their mother and father to pay them.
Right.
No, your mother and father is not here to pay you. Your mother and father is here to further your education. So when you do get out there on your own, you know how to what? Wash your clothes, pay your bills, build up your credit, know how to handle a business,
Right.
know how to have employees and pay your employees and to do a great thing for your community.
Right.
That's what a father and mother is supposed to teach you. But no, the father and mother put their child in a public school system.
Right.
Put you in one classroom with one teacher.
Right.
Everybody playing around, except for that one child that's really paying attention.
Right.
But guess what? That child ain't really getting the education within those 45 minutes because the teacher is so focused on trying to stop those children over there from acting up. So now 45 minutes is up. He got to wait till the next day.
Right.
I was in a special ed, so I know. And guess who was bad? The special ed children or the non-special ed kids? Who you think was better?
The non-special. For sure.
That's crazy.
Right.
But that's the right answer. Who was the real bullies? They was bullying us, but we was loud wires, so we handled our business.
Yeah.
And we made it like, the regular kids, they want to hype it up.
Right.
Yo, just be quiet. But they was really being but we hyped that shit up in front of the teachers. We throwing things, all that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we want to be more tougher than them.
Right.
They was more smarter than us, but they was being the real bullies and shit. Where us, special ed, we had learning disabilities. You know what I'm saying? I can't say learning disability because you might learn within a week where I might learn that same thing probably within 3 weeks.
Right.
So it's all about pace.
Right.
But the public system is not about pace.
Right.
The public school system is a violation towards our children, our culture, bro. We don't supposed to be sitting down, you know what I'm saying, learning anything. They supposed to teach us in a way on how our culture is, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why we always act out, because they doing it wrong. And that's how Rockefeller did it. He the one who started that public school system, put money to that. And guess what? People still failing to this day.
Facts.
We got to get out that system, bro, and make our own system.
That's a fact. So, I told you about the Hail Mary prayer. Or was it Our Father? I think it was Our Father.
Mm.
And the way you broke down the Our Father was like I never heard it before.
Mm.
It's like I know the prayer, but I didn't fully understand the prayer.
Mm.
So, break down the Our Father for us.
Reading is fundamental, but comprehension is not. Mm. So somebody could say a prayer verbatimly, but they might not understand the real interpretation and the esoteric of that prayer. You know what I'm saying? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on the earth as it is in heaven.
Right.
Give us this day our daily bread.
And forgive us our trespasses.
You know what I'm saying? So when they say our Father who art in heaven, who's the Father that you're talking about? They're talking about God, right?
Yes.
What is the heaven that they're talking about? Are they really talking about a sky, up in the sky and all that? Mm-hmm. Nah. They're talking about heaven is a state of mind. Hell is a state of mind, a lower self. So heaven and hell is negative and positive.
Right.
Whatever state of mind that you in. So when your mom and your dad created you, you was created from heaven into hell.
Right.
So you came from your father's story, and then he had sex with your mother and impregnate you through the shaft into her womb and created a Big Bang Theory. Now you created 9 months later.
Right.
And 9 means completion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The 9th letter in the alphabet is what? I.
Aye.
You know what I'm saying? You know? I and the supreme alphabets, we call that Islam. Islam means peace. Peace is a universal thing. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Islam is an old-time religion.
Right.
It's the sun, moon, and stars. It's the man, woman, and child. You know? You know, and at the end of the day, when your mom and your father created you, that mom and father created something that was peaceful, that was still.
Right.
'Cause when you was a baby, you couldn't move and walk.
Right.
You was at a standstill. And then eventually you started, your bones started getting stronger because they nurturing you. You started seeing things with your eyes, so now you started walking in the 9 months to 13 months. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, down the line, something changed. Where now, the more negative things we see, the baby instantly gravitates towards the negative over the positive.
Right.
Because it's negative is like a floodgate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Your last name is supposed to be hollow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your last name is golden.
Right.
But when we go outside our house, is we representing our last name? Well,
Right.
no, we representing the devil's last name, which is lower self.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you separate in this world, you gotta remember the relation that binds you, the love and unity to your mother and your father. You know what I'm saying? But if the mother and father they don't understand love and unity,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? If that's not being taught down to their youth, to their child, to their children, you know, once they step outside, they're gonna be easily influenced like that.
Right.
So reading is fundamental, but comprehension is not. And I advise every youth to really study whatever's being taught you and keep these OGs around that, because they could interpret that towards you way better than what you think you see it as. Because people could just read something and they just read it for what it is. But it has a meaning behind that. And if you don't have an interpreter, you might not find a true meaning of what that is. You're just gonna be looking at what's on that book. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing I could say to the people. But we live in this world where people don't want to be critiqued.
Right.
So it's a blessing for you to say, yo, bro, I know a prayer, and one day you broke it down where I could understand it, like, and I felt more energetic with that understanding than what I was taught.
Right.
And then whatever I was taught, it still feel like it's some spookism.
Right.
But I'm real. I'm reality.
Right.
So why I'm regurgitating something that should feel real?
Right.
You want to regurgitate something that's reality, that feel like Conversation with Zoe have a full manifest, a prayer.
Right.
You know what prayer is? Prayer is spirit.
Right.
It's the holy breath.
Right.
So every time you get on this platform, guess what you're doing? You praying.
Praying.
You know what I'm saying? You giving out the manifesto, what they call it?
Manifesto?
Yeah, the manifesto.
Right.
I call it big manual talk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. You know what I'm saying? When I'm in my podcast realm, and it's Positive Beats Negative Network,
Right.
and we got our
Shout out to my brother Q Life, man.
yeah, man, and then we both got our slogans. You know what I'm saying? I say, yo, you know what I'm saying? My name is Mo Knowledge. I'm a true custodian warrior. Washing up negativity is all about positivity, grind time, no demon time, and the words of my brother Q Life. You know what I'm saying? But it's big manual talk. You know what I'm saying? We giving out that manual, and what I love about you is that you be giving out the manual.
Right.
And you're going to have brothers that's going to take heed to it, and you're going to have people that's not going to take heed to it.
Right.
But for the ones that do, that's what counts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they honoring something that's great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, I feel like everybody should behold Conversations with Zoe.
Right. Thank you.
No question.
Man, thank you for your time, your presence, your energy. You know, being the last minute guest. Well, not really, because, you know, this was been supposed to happen, but it happened at a great time, you know. Right before the weather started to warm up, you know, right before people want to run outside and lose their mind.
Yes, sir.
Not honor their last name and act like they got no sense. You know, for the young brothers out there and sisters, you know, reach out to, you know, DM Brother Mo Knowledge. You know what I mean? He's always outside. He really be outside. You know, really stopping fights, talking to the youth, giving out his time. He got his own family, so as do I. But he's always willing to give his time. He's always gonna pick up his phone, or he's gonna get back to you. You know what I mean? To aid and assist you with whatever you need. So you know, thank you for your time. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment. Shout out to Positive Beats Negative.
I'll give a shout out.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I want to give a shout out to All-Star Troubleshooters.
Oh, yeah.
Yours.org.
Three right here.
I want to give a shout out to All-Star Troubleshooters. Yours.org. I want to shout out to my big brother, OG, Bo, Sister Carmita. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the sister Queen Asia. And shout out to Brother Franklin, Brother Big Veg. You know what I'm saying?
Big shout out to Big Veg.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to, you know, my brother Q Life, Positive Beats Negative Network. You know, shout out to, you know, Scary Films. You know, my brother Warrior. You know, his birthday coming up. So I want to say on camera, happy birthday to my big brother, you know what I'm saying, Warrior, Scary Films. And shout out to all my brothers, and shout out to the multitude, North, South, East, West, California, Chicago, New York. Shout out to all the brothers that's being the message that they bring and stand on their square and overcoming negativity, man.
Right.
And shout out to my brother right here, you know what I'm saying? Zoe, Conversation with Zoe, man, for real.
Sure.
Tune in.
Nah, that facts. And this was great trouble. You know, you got the troubleshooter shirt on.
Yeah.
So this is great promo for Deacon Bo and everything he got going on. He lost one of his sons to gun violence, and he started the troubleshooters to, you know, troubleshoot. Same how you troubleshoot a computer, we troubleshooting problems in the hood, man. We promoting love and healing, creating safe spaces, doing peaceful events, like the hip hop summits, like the concerts in the summer. So definitely shout out to yours all. Definitely donate and support. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment once again. And we out, and it's all love. Peace. Facts.
I was mad nervous, bro.
Peace and love, world. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, support the channel, show your love. You know what I'm saying? We have a great conversation week in and week out. You never know who's coming. You never know what we're going to do. But at the end of the day, it's all about peace and love. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment.